men that fear God, men that hate sin, men that will preach, pray, and prophesy until revival comes.
The next tool, I don't have the time, let's run. Second Kings, let me just show you two more tools for the priest in fulfilling his responsibility of priesthood. Sound. 2 Kings 3 and verse 15. 2 Kings 3 and verse 15. All of us know that story. Remember Prophet Elisha? When the kings came to meet him and they were going to war and they were about to die of thirst. Right? They came to meet Prophet Elisha and Elisha said, bring me what? A minstrel. He says, as he began to play. Right? We've discovered as a clan that there is something about sound that helps ascension. But don't become a priest in prayer that cannot pray without sound. Notice that this is not the pattern that Elisha used to get a word from the Lord every time. Are you with me? On this occasion, he used it to ascend. But this was not his regular pattern. If you cannot pray without music in the background, there's something wrong. You must be able to pray without music in the background. That's why you will notice sometimes when some of us are leading prayers here, we'll say, stop the sound. Let the prayer point be loud in your spirit. Because it's very risky that you might think that it is the prayers that is propelling you. Meanwhile, it's the chords. Are you with me? What is supposed to be is that your spirit has aligned. And because your spirit has aligned, you are now taking advantage of the music. Not that it is the music. Elisha was already a priest in alignment. Notice that when they were looking for him, they said, there is one here that has done what? Poured water on the hands of Elijah, and the spirit of Elisha doth rest upon him. Are you with me? So he was a carrier of something. The sound was just to create an environment to help what was already happening on his inside easier to navigate. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? These are practical things, right? So, but in your personal engagement, don't make it that you cannot pray without sound. Where sound is helpful most of the time is when you are teaching yourself how to pray long. I used to do it. I still do it now. There are sometimes I say, I don't want to get up from this place until I've done 5 hours. I have a playlist that I know is 5 hours. So I keep praying. So I'm not distracted. I don't look at the clock. I know that that thing is minimum 5 hours. And I know probably the 2 last songs on it. Baruza, Kave. When I'm tired, I stand up, give up, I'm not going to look at the clock. I know that when this song starts playing, I've struck 5 hours. So at that point that it strikes 5 hours, if I feel that the burden has not released, I keep pushing. So it helps you when you are training yourself. Get an instrumental that is 1 hour, for instance, and then just put it on play. Train yourself to pray for 1 hour until it stops. You will not be distracted. All right? When we do tools of the altar, we will now deal with matters of how to bring your mind back when all kinds of thoughts are trying to distract you when you are praying. Next one on sound, Joshua chapter 6. Give me verse 1. Joshua chapter 6. We are closing shortly. Joshua chapter 6 verse 1. Now Jericho was securely shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. Verse 2. And the Lord said to Joshua, see, I have done what? Giving Jericho into your hand, its king and the mighty man of valor. So when you open scriptures, you see what is available. Sometimes, for you to be able to engage what is available, you might now need to use the instrument of what? Sound. Right? He says, I've given it to you. Prophetically, Jericho was already conquered. Verse 3. Verse 3. You shall march around the city. All you men of war, you shall go all around the city once. This you shall do how? 6 days. Verse 4. And 7 priests, now the priesthood is introduced, shall bear what? 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark. But the 7th day, you shall march around the city 7 times, and the priest shall do what? Blow the trumpets. So sound. Sound is also used in priesthood. Notice it was not just anybody that blew the trumpet. Who blew the trumpet? Priests. So it was a priestly assignment. The sound they were making, because they were priests, I taught you here that the signature of the priest is access to divine presence. That's what differentiated the priest from the king from the prophet. The priest, access to divine presence. The king is a symbol of the rulership, the reign, and the authority of God. The prophet, the one that spoke the words of God. All right, so when they aligned with the presence of God, then the Bible says that they will shout, and then the walls of Jericho will come crashing down. So sometimes you will see that we are praying in the tent, and then one sound will just rise. And when that sound rises, almost all of us, you will not need to tell anybody that we have shifted. We have shifted. What happened is that we are aligned, because heaven is a place of sound. The Bible says that worship is consistently happening in heaven. The four beasts, they are lyrical. They are singing. Sound is happening in heaven. So once we align, we're able to bring the reality of heaven